Of course, I am a member of the Police Credit Union. I love the service I receive. My loans get processed speedily.
I'm a member of the Police Credit Union. I like the products and services that they offer, especially the discount card and medical fund.
I am a member of the Police Credit Union. What I love most about them is that they are always ready and willing to assist you.
Yes, I'm a member of the Police Credit Union. They make me feel comfortable and important.
You too.
You too.
You too.
You too can become a member
Of the Police
And Allied Services Credit Union.
How do we fix the problems plaguing this country in healthcare, citizen security, education, food security, the economy, unemployment, social development? Sometimes the best solutions come from the ones most affected by these issues, the people themselves.
My solution to crime for tourism.
For the arts is
Join me as we explore and discuss answers from the people, simple solutions offered by St. Lucians. Solutions Live, Mondays at 9 p.m., only on Choice TV. Mondays on Choice TV.
When he lost his true love, Juliet, all that was left was fury.
He's grasping at whatever straw he can find. You have to take some time.
Are you suspending me? You can't be part of this. Nick is going off the deep end.
Whatever he's doing on his own.
We're running out of time.
For what?
Your one chance to get the answers.
Mondays on Choice TV.
Choice. Now that's TV.
Good night, St. Lucia, and welcome to another episode of Police Insight. I am your host, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. I'd like to say good night to our Police Commissioner, Mrs. Cressida Descat Pelius. How are you doing, ma'am? Good night to the executive, gazetted officers, inspectors, sergeants, corporals, constables, special police constables, special reserve police officers, former police officers. Good night to you. Our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, the Borderley Correctional Facility, Fire Service Department, Customs, and Port Police. Good night to you all. As you know, folks, it's Thursday, and this is where you tell a friend to tell a friend that Police Insight is on. We're also streaming live on the Choice Television Facebook page, and I'm just so happy to be with you once again. Tonight, folks, we have a very important guest, and her name is Loveness Nyakujarah, and she is the Spotlight Program Coordinator and Technical Coherence for the Spotlight Caribbean Regional Program. Previously, she managed the Ending Violence Against Women and Women, Peace and Security portfolios for UN Women South Africa Multi-Country Office, also UN Women SADC Liaison Office since 2015. Ms. Nyakujarah has over 20 years diverse experience in the development sector spanning gender and women's rights, peace and security, governance, climate justice and media, and strategic communications. Prior to UN Women, she was the Southern Africa Regional Policy Advisor, Gender Justice for Norwegian Church Aid, where she provided policy advisory support to fellow NCA offices and partners as well as grant making. So folks, without further ado, let me welcome for the first time to Police Insight, Mrs. Loveness Nyakujarah. Good night, Mrs. Nyakujarah, and I hope I'm doing a good job, folks, at pronouncing the last name. Good night, ma'am.
Good night. That is correct. Thank you for having me this evening.
And welcome to St. Lucia. Is that your first time in St. Lucia, or you've been here before?
I've been here before, and I feel welcome each time I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. And we're here to discuss, well, an amazing program, an initiative which is aimed at, I guess, reducing or eliminating, the violence against women and girls. So, Mrs. Nyakujarah, could you tell us what is the Spotlight Initiative and the Spotlight Initiative Caribbean Regional Program?
So thank you once again for having me today and for the opportunity to talk about the Spotlight Initiative. The Spotlight Initiative is a global initiative of the United Nations with the generous support of the European Union. So they invested over 500 million euro to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls across the world. In the Caribbean, through the regional program, we have an investment of over 12 million. So the idea is, if we come together with sufficient resources, perhaps we can put a dent to the issue of violence against women and girls. And this is an unprecedented effort to eliminate violence by 2030. So we have much work to do because 2030 is around the corner.
Is definitely around the corner. And some might say, why the need to keep focusing on the issue of violence against women and girls? You know, some individuals might say, but the guys are the ones getting killed on the block. Every time when you watch the news, it's the guys. Why the need?
So violence against women and girls is an important issue because it impacts 52% of the population. Of course, people are getting killed around the block, but we can do something about violence against women and girls. We do know that in families, in communities, at schools, in the workplace, women are suffering in silence. Sometimes you may not see it with the naked eye, but there are many forms of violence that keep this issue on the radar. So it is important because of the consequences of violence against women that we see. So firstly, it impacts just their physical well-being, their emotional well-being, because there are different forms of violence. So while there's physical violence, there's also economic violence, there's psychological violence, and all manner of violence against women and girls. We do know that around the globe, statistics showed us that 1 in 3 women.
1 in 3?
Yes, that is the global statistics. 1 in 3 women has experienced some form of violence in their lifetime. So this is an issue that we need to keep at the fore. It's in many cases, it also impacts on their ability to carry out their life in the public or in the public or even at home. It's really impacting on women's health. So we need to keep our eye on this. It also has a lot of consequence in terms of the economic cost to the country. So not only do we lose out do they lose out at the household level. If women continue to face violence, this impacts the economy because all the resources that would have been channeled to maybe to economic development, maybe to fix roads, to do other infrastructural development, education, go to this. Because now you have to pay the police.
Yes.
You have to then pay the health worker. We then have to, then school is missed and they don't go to work. So if you put all that together, there's an economic cost too. So it is an issue even for the private sector. So we need to keep focusing on eliminating violence against women and girls.
Excellent. Let me just take this opportune time to say good night to those of you in the chat. Mr. Kidron C. Gustav, how you doing, my brother? Christian Jabatis, thank you for logging in. Thank you for supporting the show. Why this social behavior change campaign approach? Social behavior change, why?
Yes. So as the Spotlight Initiative, what I would not have mentioned from the beginning has different components. We are looking firstly at strengthening regional institutions. And by strengthening regional institutions such as the CARICOM Secretariat, working with the OEC Commission and other regional institutions to strengthen their support, so that when they work with member states, they have the tools, the resources to be able to do so. The second area we are working in is prevention, which I'll speak to, which is related to the social behavior campaign.
Okay.
And we're also working on improving data and use of data to inform policies and programs related to violence against women and girls in the context of family violence. And the fourth area is working with civil society institutions and women's movements, and ensuring that we keep helping them become sustainable. So that brings me to the issue of this campaign. So this particular social behavior change campaign is part of the Pillar 3 on prevention. Why social behavior change campaign? It is because we believe that this is one way to prevent violence. We need to foster behavior change. You know, from all the work that you do, that it's one thing to pass information to say, end violence. It's another for people to translate that information to actual behavior change. So there are multiple ways that this program is trying to challenge the negative social norms, negative gender stereotypes, and foster healthy relationships. So through working with partners, this work is led by UNICEF, which is one of the UN agencies working on the Spotlight Initiative. So UNICEF is leading this social behavior change campaign, and through the work that they are doing, they are working with multiple partners, including different private sector. They are also working with creatives. They're working led by PCI Media, which also took part in creating the campaign. So they're saying that we need to do this campaign so that we foster positive relationships, healthy relationships in the home, in the community, in the workplace, and this has a greater impact on the nation, like St. Lucia, but also in the Caribbean region, so that we have a violence-free Caribbean. So it has multiple layers, and we can talk a little bit more about that in the show.
Earlier on, you mentioned a very important word, data or data. In your experience, in your work in the Caribbean region, especially that of St. Lucia, how readily available is data when it comes to violence against women and girls?
Yes, so in many of the Caribbean countries, there is not very good prevalence data, which measures the incidences, right? But what we have available is administrative data. So part of the work that we are doing under the Pillar 5, which has to do with data, we are saying with the data that we have, administrative data, how can we utilize it? But not only that, are we capturing all the nuances that tell the story around violence against women and girls? Because if we know and understand the challenge we have, we'll be better able to handle it. But we'll also be able to invest the resources required, because we need to know not just the numbers, but where it's happening, what's increasing, what's driving an increase in violence, where we find increases, or what is working to reduce the violence. How will we know if we've made an impact if we don't have the data? So it is two components, administrative data, which we already have, but as a region, some of that data is not standardized. So we can't even compare to see whether in St. Lucia it is, it is high, or in Antigua, if, where do we have, very readily available data that we can compare, so we can see where we are improving and where we need to pay attention to. So that data would enable us to do that. But suffice to say that it's not sufficient.
Yeah, and I do believe that it isn't. We're going to take our very first break. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
fitment, balancing, and now computerized wheel alignment at Automotive Art. Are you tired of uneven tire wear and poor handling? Look no further. Introducing our new computerized wheel alignment services. Not only will you improve the life of your tires, but you'll also enjoy a smoother and safer ride. Don't wait. Book your appointment today and enjoy a perfectly aligned ride. For more details, visit our stores or contact us at 453-6444 or visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
Easter is coming, and that means it's time to do some spring cleaning. It's time to upgrade and refresh your home today and save up to 30% off store-wide. Change off that old lounge chair, dining room table, or any furniture item now and save big. Plus, shop our large selection of appliances, televisions, and electronics for the biggest deals. No cash, no problem. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and pay $0 for 30 days. And before you check out, don't forget to add extended warranty with our Quartz Super Shield product, which will protect your purchase for up to 4 years. This offer is available online at shopquartz.com for a limited time only. Act now before the deals are gone. Conditions apply. Quartz, bringing value home.
When we first came off the press, we had hopes of someday helping to quench thirst, provide mobility, contain goodies, and bring smiles. And for the most part, we did. But look at us now. We've been tossed out of windows, thrown in gutters, dumped indiscriminately, causing you harm. Now, we languish in mangroves, blow in the wind, drift in huge patches, and sadly, some of our kind are responsible for the death of marine life. Look at us. All we wanted was to make your life easier and then be disposed of in a recycle bin. Now, we will take years to disintegrate. So please, don't send any more plastics to join us. Your future, your children's future, depends on a clean ocean.
This message was brought to you by the Plastic Waste Free Islands Project, managed by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and supported by the Norwegian Agency for Development Corporation and the Government of St. Lucia.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Hey guys, we're having an amazing show with an amazing guest, Mrs. Loveness Nyakujarah, and she is the Spotlight Initiative Coordinator of the Spotlight Initiative Caribbean Regional Program. You know, folks, this is such a telling statistic, because according to the World Organization, and just like Mrs. Nyakujarah rightly said, statistics indicate that globally about 1 in 3 women worldwide have been subjected to either physical and or sexual intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence in their lifetime. And also the World Health Organization states that the violence can negatively affect women's physical, mental, sexual, and reproductive health, and may increase the risk of acquiring HIV in some settings. We have some media video, so let us get to one of those videos that will show us a little bit into what the campaign is about. So we have an animation, so let's view this right now.
Violence against women begins in childhood. In cultures across the Caribbean, as elsewhere in the world, girls and boys in numerous ways are treated differently from the moment they're born. In adolescence, this gender divide increases significantly. Adolescent girls and boys in all their diversities begin to interact with the world in new ways, taking chances, learning skills, and experiencing unfamiliar emotions. They search for ways to stand out and belong, to find their place in society and make a difference in their world. It is during this time that girls are more likely to experience violence from people they know, family members, intimate and dating partners. In fact, high rates of intimate partner violence reported by adolescent girls are consistent with global estimates based on research on violence against women and girls. Up to 1/3 of adolescent girls have experienced forced sex. These estimates don't show the whole picture because no one wants to report it. This is shocking. The negative consequences of violence against adolescent girls are well documented and extend throughout a girl's lifetime. Such violence is committed against girls specifically because they are female and can take many forms. It distorts family life and the fabric of society with consequences that cross generations. But the cycle can be broken. Adolescence is a unique time for the prevention of family violence. Girls themselves are part of the solution, but they can't do it alone. There's still work to be done in our homes, communities, schools, and with our leaders to make sure that women and girls live free from violence and can take full advantage of their rights. Play your part.
Play your part. Miss Nyakujarah, one of the messages from that video that stood out to me, the cycle can be broken. That's what the video claims.
Yes.
If there's a viewer out there right now listening, they might be saying, nah, it cannot be broken. I've been in my community. I'm 50 years old, 60 years old. I've seen this happen over and over again. What would you say to this individual who doesn't really believe that? They're not optimistic that it can be broken. What would you say to them?
Thank you for that question. This is why we have campaigns such as Play Your Part, because Play Your Part seeks to disrupt those that cycle of violence, to say you have a part to play. So we need to start with that skeptical person to say, what is it that you can do to stop the violence, depending on their position in society, in the family, in the workplace, because it starts with me. So we are challenging everyone to play their part. So we do know that children who experience violence while they are young have a likelihood of meeting violence against others, yes, but also of experiencing violence and accepting it as normal, as a normal way of disciplining, as a normal way of, expressing authority. So we need to stop it. And there's several strategies. And the Spotlight program has several strategies that they're employing. So one is obviously the social behavior change campaign. And through this campaign, we have developed various products, such as a drama series, which has messages and, that target various stakeholders, young people, older people, in different social sectors as well. So we are saying, as part of this campaign, what can you do? As a police officer, what can you do to stop violence? You have authority, you can do the protection, but more than just protection, how can we deter would-be perpetrators? And when we do get the perpetrator, how are our programs structured to ensure that they don't repeat? So we need a rehabilitation process that you already do, but how can we improve that going forward? So we believe that it is possible to stop the violence, and we just need to target behavior change, because it's not enough to just give information, but we need to find those subtle things that we can change. Role modeling is one way to disrupt that. Economic empowerment of women and girls to ensure that they have choices over, their lives, because sometimes they are stuck in relationship because of economic, their economic situation. And this campaign challenges each and everyone to play their part and stop this cycle of violence. It's a whole topic for a whole day to get into some of those strategies that can disrupt, this cycle of violence. But what I want to say to everyone is, it can be stopped, and that skeptical person, it starts with you. If you're a lawyer, volunteer your time pro bono to go and stand up at court, for example, when there are cases, because you know that a lot of people don't have legal fees. And legal aid is slow to come because the backlog is long.
Yes.
So that's provided by government. So you want to say, play your part. If you're an accountant, I spoke about Pillar 6 within the Regional Spotlight Program, which seeks to help civil society organizations to ensure that they're a bit more sustainable, but they also come together. You can volunteer your time to do the accounts of a civil society organization that's providing services for violence against women, so that that cost is taken away. Then they can use that resource for providing direct services to vulnerable groups or those who are victims of violence or survivors. So everyone has a part to play, and we can stop the violence, but it is important that we catch them young. One of the pillars focuses on youth and schools, including out of school. That's under Pillar 3 on prevention as well. We have a whole program that works with teachers, with parents, and we've also developed guidelines and tools, and are working with the various departments within regional institutions around this issue. So there are multiple strategies to stop the cycle, but it starts with each individual across the region.
Love that. Play your part. Yes. Potential outcomes, expectations of the campaign?
Yes. So we hope that this campaign is picked up by everyone. That, you know, in HIV, we knew the ABC of HIV and AIDS. Right? We knew the message, whether you were in the Caribbean, whether you were in the Pacific, Asia, Africa, you knew what the message was. During COVID-19, you could ask a 3-year-old. They'll tell you, sanitize, keep a healthy distance of about 2 meters plus. They would also tell you, wash your hands, because the message was crisp and clear. We believe that through this campaign, we can also start calling in everyone to be a partner to stop violence. So we can also send out a strong message that everyone has a part to play. So success for me for this campaign is that we come together as a region to have zero tolerance of violence against women and girls, and that each one starts to play their part. Then we will have succeeded. We want to see private sector taking on the challenge, government taking on the challenge, schools, faith-based organizations. Yesterday, we were at one of the churches, and they can be allies, because we know faith-based organizations have social capital. What the pastor says is gospel.
Yes.
Yes. So what we're trying, what we seek to achieve is, like what we mentioned previously, break the cycle, foster healthy relationships, but also enlist partners and communities and individuals to play their part. We want to know that a 2-year-old can actually say no to violence. That is what we are seeking to do with this campaign, not just in St. Lucia, but across the Caribbean. So we hope that you will work with fellow police to say there's this campaign. How are we playing our part at home, in the community, in the workplace, but also as you go about policing? What are we doing to stop particularly violence against women and girls? I'm sure the media reports show us that this continues to be a big challenge. It's not news to us, but the issue is, what can we do? Each one needs to play their part, and that's what we hope.
Which leads me to my next question, the importance of all sectors of society, the police, the church, the schools, especially that of the police and community policing. Do you care to elaborate?
Yes, as you know from the work you do, you could tell me better, but we do know that the police has an important role to play in protection, but also deterrent. And we want to get to a place where we stop the violence before it has occurred. So you can be taken out of your job, because now there's no more violence, there's no more crime, right?
I wish. Okay.
Yes. So it is important to work with the police, because as part of the Regional Spotlight Program, we are actually in the process of developing regional common standards for police and the justice sector, because we recognize the importance of the police. So the draft is in place, and this has been informed by an assessment which was led by the UNDP, which is the United Nations Development Program. It's one of the 4 UN agencies that are working on the Spotlight Initiative. It's UN Women, UNDP, UNFPA, and UNICEF. So UNDP is leading the work on developing these common standards. So soon the region will have standards of operation in addressing violence against women and girls and family violence. And through this, you'll have practical methods of improving documentation, reporting, and data analysis for the protection of victims and survivors of gender-based violence. So we believe that the police, the justice system, has an important part to play.
Excellent. Most definitely. We are due for another break, and let's take that break. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
Of course, I am a member of the Police Credit Union. I love the service I receive. My loans get processed speedily.
I'm a member of the Police Credit Union. I like the products and services that they offer, especially the discount card and medical fund.
I am a member of the Police Credit Union. What I love most about them is that they are always ready and willing to assist you.
Yes, I am a member of the Police Credit Union. They make me feel comfortable and important.
You too.
You too.
You too.
You too can become a member
of the Police
and Allied Services Credit Union.
The CCJ Accession Committee, in collaboration with the Attorney General's Chambers and the Government of St. Lucia, invites you to a town hall meeting series which will take place on Saturday, March 11th at the Grosile Human Resource Center at 6 p.m. Come sit with us as we discuss St. Lucia's delinking from the Privy Council and the final steps towards attaining full political independence and equal access to justice. We will also address concerns about political interference, why there is no need for referendum, and so much more. Look out for the CCJ Town Hall Meeting series at a community near you.
Having excellent vision isn't just about how well you see. It's how you see your world around you. Our eye doctors are here for you to provide the best personalized care you need when you need it. Because true care is about more than eyeglasses. It's all about you, not just what you see, but how you see it. Best staff, best prices, great vision. Vision Express.
Okay, welcome back to Police Insight. Your host here, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. In studio, Mrs. Loveness Nyakujarah, and she's the Spotlight Initiative Coordinator of the Spotlight Initiative Caribbean Regional Program. We have another video, and I know you're going to find this one very, very entertaining. I love it myself, and this video is tied in with the campaign. So just take a look at this.
Weed shame from the garden of your lips. Cleanse silence of attained perpetual violence. Grow righteous tongues and loving hands of truth. For your tears harvest help, guide our youth.
Your power, your love is pure. Replenish the earth with your essence, yeah. There's so much you endure. Touch everyone with this message, yeah. One thing that I know for sure,
Little girls to know autonomy for us all to grow humanity. Thanks, champion. We need you.
One thing that I know for sure, it's time that we start to restore the violence on women no more. Hey, let me see you put your hands up, so we can put our hands up. I want you to stand up and play your part, play your part. We will no longer be silent. I want you to stand up and play your part, play your part. Stand up to domestic violence. Let me see your hands in the air. If you hear me, I'm in there. We no longer living in fear. Stop the violence everywhere. We doing it together, 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 together. You and me together, 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 together. Alright. You and me, unity. Play your part, lady. Come on, yeah.
Play your part. Play your man. This is so catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
It is catchy. I was dancing.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
dancing, and the essence of this this product and these products, we're celebrating the triumph over gender-based violence. What success can look like when we're standing together and we're playing our part. So we didn't want to portray, you know, the black eye and the sorry state of GBV, but
I
we want
see.
to demonstrate that we can overcome if each one plays their part and we continue to stand together. So you saw the St. Lucia's very own Teddyson
Oh,
and
yes.
Kamaya.
Yes.
And this was a collaboration with Nadine from Jamaica because we wanted to get the Caribbean flavor in all of the work that was done. So there would be representation from St. Lucia, from, I think there was Trinidad and Tobago, I mentioned Jamaica and other countries, because we wanted to ensure that the Caribbean is well represented.
It's a beautiful video. I love it, and it is so catchy. Right now, it's just playing in my head.
So you'll be
over
playing
and
your
over.
part.
Oh,
You already
most
do.
definitely.
You
I am
already do.
Right now, right here.
You already do.
But I see the production, the video production, the animation. Why these particular types of products? And are there any other types, or can you share a bit on them?
Sure. Like I mentioned, the idea was to portray, to celebrate triumph over gender-based violence. So not only do we have the song and the accompanying video, we also have a 6-episode drama, radio drama that you will be hearing soon, and we hope that you will be able to also share that resource. We also have public service announcements, at least 2. This is also going to be translated. In fact, the work has already been done, that it's translated in French so that it is accessible to all the communities in St. Lucia, but beyond St. Lucia, in other countries in the Caribbean, including French-speaking. We also have social media assets. We know that the young people, TikTok, so we have a TikTok challenge.
Excellent.
I was hoping today I could challenge you.
I'm ready.
For a TikTok dance.
Whenever you're ready.
But that's for another day,
That's
right?
another day.
Yes. We also have a toolkit, and we really want to appreciate PCI Media for all the work that they've done, working with UNICEF and other Spotlight partners, of course, with the generous support of EU. We have a toolkit. So if everyone is welcome to use the resources. They're on the website, and if you follow, I hope you'll be able to share the website on your page and other platforms, so that those who want to use these resources for training, but also it's just part of playing their part, they can be able to access them. But we accompany this with a toolkit to show you how you can use these products and how you can do social and behavior change campaigns like Play Your Part.
Excellent, and I could tell you, Mrs. Nyakujarah, that on behalf of the police commissioner and my department, the community relations branch of the Royal Central Police Force, we are definitely ready to commit ourselves to playing our part and assist this amazing campaign, and definitely needed. Are we due for a break? Okay, let us take just take the last break, and when we come back, a very, very important question for our guest, and then we'll wrap up. Stay tuned.
Staring change, painting old patterns new. For little girls to know autonomy, for us all to grow humanity. Thanks, champion, we need you.
One thing that I know for sure, it's time that we start to restore the violence on women no more. Hey, let me see you put your hands up, so we can put our hands down. I want you to stand up and play a part, play a part. We will no longer.
Here's your first task. Let's see how you do. I need you to renew the registration on these vehicles. Here are the documents and the company credit card. Now, I know the lines are long, but I expect you back here before 12.
Yes, sir, no problem. There's a new and easier way to do things now. Everything I need is right here with DigiGolf.
All your vehicle-related services are right at your fingertips from anywhere with DigiGolf. From vehicle registration to application and renewal of route permits and more. With DigiGolf, you have convenient access to vehicle services using a desktop, computer, a laptop, or other mobile device. We're making it easier online and getting you off the line. Register with DigiGolf today.
Here you go, sir. Vehicle registration renewed. All you have to do is pick up the stickers.
How?
Welcome to the DigiGolf era.
If you need help accessing DigiGolf, visit one of our Service Bureau offices below. DigiGolf, serving people and businesses with that island love.
www.shopmasseystoresSLU.com. It's Massey Stores online supermarket where you shop and pay for your groceries online. Try it today and get double points when you shop online. It's simple and convenient. Choose delivery to your doorstep with quick delivery or collect curbside, which is absolutely free. Massey Stores online supermarket. Shop now.
Yes, girl, finally a beach day.
Isn't that Jenny over there?
Oh, yeah.
She has not been feeling well lately.
You know, she's been struggling since COVID, eh? She lost family, friends, even work. So It must be really tough on her.
The pandemic may be over, but there are people among us still struggling from its effects. Mental health issues are real. Anyone, including children, experiencing depression, frustration, anxiety, or stress has free access to the island's mental health support services. If you know anyone who may need help, let them know about the services that are available and how they could be accessed. Call your nearest wellness center at 458-6500 or helpline 203 for suicide prevention. Talk to a trained mental health care provider. Get help now. A message from the Bureau of Health Education within the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs in partnership with the Pan American Health Organization.
Hey, welcome back to Police Insight as we continue the conversation, and we'll be wrapping up very shortly. According to the World Health Organization, violence against women is preventable. The health sector has an important role to play to provide comprehensive health care to women subjected to violence and as an entry point for referring women to other support services they may need. That's very important information there from the World Health Organization. Mrs. Nyakujarah, how big, 1 in 3 globally, probably let's try and narrow it down more to our neck of the woods, the Caribbean. How big is the issue, is the Caribbean of violence against women and girls?
Sure, that's an important question, and it's a question that keeps recurring. But we mentioned the issue of data and the importance of improving our data availability. So we do have some data. At least 5 countries have conducted national prevalence surveys. I'm not going to mention them, but you can read more about it online. But those of the you know, the data collected in those 5 countries, it shows that the problem is actually bigger in the Caribbean. It's an average of 46%.
That's very high.
At least 46% of women over 18 have experienced at least one form of violence in their lifetime. 46%. That is almost 1 in 2 of those 5 countries. So much work needs to be done. And you mentioned what the World Health Organization said, that it is preventable.
Yes.
But it takes a multi-sectoral approach. And so we have a community of practice for the essential services package, which brings together the different role players, including the police, the justice system, the health sector. We also have, of course, gender sector and all the sectors that we know. So at least 4 or 5 sectors. But we are also trying to include education. Remember, we said we want to catch them young. So the Caribbean will be the first region to introduce the education sector as part of this essential services package that was created by the United Nations as one of the global standards for providing services. If you can meet the minimum standards there, then you know that you know, your services are really quality services. So that kind of challenge where we have almost 1 in 2, if we generalize that data, it means that the challenge is big and it requires everyone, the many sectors, to play their part for us to address this challenge.
In your opinion, why do you think that we are still dealing with this issue? Why is the statistics are so high, especially in the Caribbean? What do you think?
So there's two sides to it. The fact that we are seeing an increase could actually be showing some effectiveness of the work, because violence against women and girls used to be such a private matter. It was hidden, in the past. But we do know that with more awareness, with all the work, and also some trust being built, with the police and so forth, women and girls are more starting to come forward. We still say that the 46% is an understatement. Even the police statistics that we see, it's understating the real challenge, because quite a number of people don't report. But where we're seeing an increase could be just increased reporting. The second thing is that we need to be strong in prevention, not just responding after the violence has happened, but we need to make violence uncool. I think that a lot of us are bystanders, so we're not doing anything about violence and saying it's a private matter, it's pushed under the carpet. So there's no disincentive not to met out violence. So I think that also perpetuates the problem, that there's a lot of bystanderism in families, at work, and everywhere, because people don't want to get involved. Yes. And of course, poverty, as we know, fuels violence, because women don't have choice, so they stay and they don't report, so there's no deterrent measures. So there's a myriad number of causes. Another issue is obviously substance abuse. You would know better. Another issue is also that violence is not being stopped at childhood. We know that from statistics and from various research that if you do not address the issue of violence, or if children are subjected to continuous violence, they're likely to be perpetrators. And for girls, they're likely to accept violence as the norm.
It's no secret that men are the majority of perpetrators when it comes to violence against women and girls. How important is the role of men in this campaign and in playing? How can they play their part, men especially?
Yes, they can take cue from you. The fact that you're talking about it on this important program, that is playing your part as a male champion within the police. We have PCI Media. I'm sure a lot of people know Bennett Charles.
Yes.
He's a man.
Hey, big up Bennett. Big up to you, my brother.
He's a man playing his part. But we need to ensure that they can, if they are perpetrators, they need to stop and understand the consequences. They need to. It's important to reflect. it's good for you, it's good for business to stop violence, because then there's more productivity. So for male CEOs, Chief Executive Officers, they have a role to play to ensure that when violence happens in the organization, they take corrective action, whether it's young boys, whether it's brothers, whether it's classmates, whether they play in the play group, they have a role to play. One, to call out. Some people say call out, but others to say call in, to say let's have a conversation about this. This is not right. You can volunteer your skills. So there is, a lot that men can do to play their part. And also, they just need to. They're the challenge, because a lot of burden is being placed on women to stop the violence. How do you stop the violence that's happening on their bodies? I think that there is room for men to reflect on this matter more.
Excellent. Final comments, Mrs. Nyakujarah?
Yes. So thank you for having me. But what I would leave is to say that it is in our hands to stop violence. It is in everyone's hands. We cannot leave it only to the police, because you rely on the community in your role, working with the community. You cannot do it alone. You rely on the information you get from the community for you to do your job well and to ensure that you deter violence from happening in the first place. And when it happens, it doesn't repeat. But remember, they also need to trust you. So I hope that you'll continue to improve, ensure that the community is trusting the police. So it's also a challenge to you. I'm sure you're doing your best. Yes. I know that many love you. So there is a role there for police to play, but every sector has a role to play. So I'm saying play your part.
Thank you, Loveness, for being esteemed guest on tonight's episode of Police Insight, and I wish you all the best in the campaign.
Thank you so much for having me tonight, and thank you, listeners and those online, for tuning in.
Excellent. I'd like to say good night to Miss Toma Morin in the chat, Luthel Aristide, Mrs. Meda, Ms. Jomen, and Angela Hippolyte. Good night to you. Guys, let me tell you something. We have a very important role to play in protecting our women and girls. Too many times, we encourage our colleagues, our partners, our buddies in their behaviors when it comes to violence against women. And when I say violence, I'm not just speaking about physical only, There's emotional violence. There's a lot of mental abuse being met out to our women. And we have the power as men to say no, to tell our friends to stop it, to hold the hand of our sisters and give them help, and to shield them and protect them. Let's not forget, we are always quick every time on Mother's Day, to post pictures of our moms and to say we love our moms. Females, our mother is a female. Our sister, the female on the street. Without our women, society ends. And we all know that. Yes? Without our women, society ends. So that's how important they are to us as a planet, as a species. So we need to play our part. We need to point the fingers and call out our male counterparts who are causing violence against our women and say, listen, we are not going to tolerate this anymore. Okay? All right, guys. So as we wrap up, we are going to, we're going to go out with the video. Okay, Collins? Okay, my brother. So once again, it was a very, very informative episode. We're looking forward to next Thursday. Okay? And stay safe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And don't forget, you got to play your part. Good night, guys. See you next Thursday.
Everyone with this message, yeah. One thing that I know for sure, it's time that we start to restore. Say violence on women no more. Hey, let me see you put your hands up, so we can put our hands up. I want you to stand up and play your part. We will no longer be silent. I want you to stand up and play your part. Stand up to family violence. Let me see your hands in the air. If you hear me over there, we no longer living in fear. Stop the violence everywhere. We doing it together. You and me together. My son, now you can destroy that flower you love is a blessing, yeah. The petals they bring you joy. Listen, we'll teach you a lesson, yeah. One thing that I know for sure, it's time that we start to restore. Say violence on girls no more. Hey, I want you to put your hands up, so we can put your hands up. I want you to stand up and play your part. We will no longer be silent. I want you to stand up and play your part. Stand up to family violence. Let me see your hands in the air. If you hear me over there, we no longer living in fear. Stop the violence everywhere. We doing it together. You and me together.
To the daddy, doula, healer, teacher, you staring change, painting old patterns new. For little girls to know autonomy, for us all to grow humanity. Thanks, champion, we need you.